Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Olympia's Soiree, and we are just continuing Tokusada's route where we left off. So, let's jump right back in. No letters to deliver. I guess I should head back to the manor. What the elderly man said before is still in my mind. As I was about to walk to Yomotsu Hirosaka. Lady Olympia? Oh, never mind. It's an old lady. Well, okay. A woman with brown hair called out to me. Look, I was just... Because she just mentioned Fuso, and I was like... And then suddenly I was like, maybe it's him again? No. The reflected sheen on her hair appeared slightly green. Oh, it looks like she's pregnant. Under her loosely fitted dress was a large belly. Maybe she's just fat, Olympia. Jesus. Nice to meet you. My name is Matsuba. I was hoping you could deliver a letter for me. Are you able to deliver to any district? Why, of course. I can deliver anywhere on the island. Thank goodness. She handed me an envelope. This is to number 102 in the Ko district. It's around the middle of the street, facing the wharf. I'll make sure it gets there, but... Just so you know, all letters are inspected by the Kotowari before they can be delivered. So the letter would be delivered tomorrow. Is that alright with you? Absolutely. I'm in no rush. She smiled serenely, and I noticed the mark on her cheek. Is she here for the same reason as Kaina? She didn't look like someone who would commit a crime, but of course it'd be foolish of me to assume so. A baby in Yomi. Did she get pregnant while on the surface? Seeing her large belly and the vivid mark on her cheek was making it hard to avoid wondering about what she had been through. The letter's to my parents, so I'm sure they'll send a response to me soon. I live at the prisoner's dormitory near the slope, so I'm afraid I must ask you to deliver the response to me there. Don't worry about it. I'll bring their letter back to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much. She gave me a deep bow, then took her leave. She's going to tell them about their grandbaby. And maybe she got pregnant down here. Because maybe she just found someone to love. Like, maybe it's lonely. I don't know. You don't know.
Welcome back, Hime. How is your date with Lord Tokusada?
I'm home, Daifuku. I had a really interesting drink today and found that there's an ice cream float named after me.
How surprising.
I'll take you there one day so you can have a taste too.
I cannot wait. I actually visited Tenyo Island once, a long time ago.
I never saw a man on the island aside from Tsukuyomi. He seems so gentle and kind. I doubt he's lying, but... And we're gonna have to ask Tsukuyomi. Mother, I went out on a date for the very first time. He suddenly asked for my hand in marriage, but the date was really fun, I think. Am I able to love someone properly? Am I capable of being loved? God, the question we all ask ourselves, huh? Right. Am I capable of this? I don't know. Like, it's weird because they put this in the game and you want to be like, oh, girl. And then you're like, no, I get that, though. Don't we all ask ourselves that question at some point or another? Me on a regular basis. Just saying. This game gets real sometimes. You're like, no. There's been so many points where you're like, ain't that the truth? This statement just fits so many situations. Like, there's too much real in this fantasy game is all I'm saying. Lady Olympia, a moment, please. Oh, is there something you need? Doma's chamberlain hurriedly ran toward me just as I was about to leave the manor. It is regarding tonight's performance. The master asks us to arrive earlier than usual, regardless of the sun's state. Understood. I'll be back before nightfall. If you'll excuse me. So we did the same thing in... We had a performance in Riku's route. We have a performance in this route. Which, I mean, makes sense, because it's basically like, we split at the same point, you know? Please stay safe. Okay, I have one letter each to the Blue and Jade districts. Oh, is Jade where we're gonna meet Nagusa again? Because, like, they mentioned him earlier, and it was like, we haven't met him in this route. And then I'll head to Matsuba's parents' house, and... I think a younger husband would be nice. I gave a start at his sudden whisper in my ear from behind. Oh my God, fucking Yosuga. I think our younger husband might be nice. What are you doing leaning over me? Do it more. Whisper in my ear again.
I suggest you use your womanly allure to mesmerize Tokisada.
Stop joking around.
Sorry. I'm aware it appears awfully meddlesome of me. But as I've said before, I do worry about Tokisada.
I just really wish we had been sassy when he whispered in her ear, like, a younger husband would be nice. Well, go find one of your own. This is literally the first thought that popped into my fucking head. I was like, you want a younger man, Tokisada? All right, no, that's... Oh, well, Yosuga, not Tokisada. Anyway. Like, huh. About that, it looks like he did have some worries of his own. Since Tokisada's an outsider, he's been struggling with adjusting to this island.
Huh. So he has.
It's similar to my own situation, so I just told him he's doing fine and to keep doing his best.
Good. I see he's in very capable hands.
Huh?
I'm certain he'd rather be consoled by a lovely woman instead of a man.
You don't know what he wants.
And take care of Tokisada, will you?
Look, these games just automatically assume everyone's straight. I mean, he is a love interest, so I'm hoping he is, because otherwise that puts a damper on the romance part, but I'm just saying. You don't know. Huh? Well, sure, I'll do my best. Also, I'm pretty sure we just transferred into the next chapter, the katana and the flower, but I didn't read the title card to you. Sometimes I forget. Because, like, we see the title card, and sometimes I forget to read it to you guys. Like, if you're multitasking and you don't see it, you don't know when we're in the chapter. So, I'm sorry. I'm, like, dropping the ball on that. And I was like, wait, we went into another chapter. I've been trying to make sure I read the little title cards as they come up. Because it's not just, like, chapter 3, where it doesn't matter. This has a title, so... It doesn't have a number. I just have to guess sometimes. The letterbox had 2 letters, and adding the one I received from Matsuba made it 3. I straightened up and waited in silence as Akaza read through the letters without a single twitch of his brow. Robots don't twitch unless they need maintenance. It's fine. Here, there are no issues with any of them. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you. It seems your deliveries are going well so far. I don't think I've caused any problems. I tucked the letters back into my bag. And how's your search for a husband? Just as expected. I knew he'd ask about it soon. Because she's like, yep, my letters are great. How's your search for a husband? I'm not marrying you. She gets angry and storms out, and he's like, what did I do? So cute. Please, take me as your husband. I mean, he is the only one that blatantly offered it. Okay, Akaza was the first one to offer. But he basically was more like, I'll do the job if nobody else wants it. And so it just came out weird the way he said it. But, like, so far we've been like, I love Riku! And then it's taken a while for him to admit he has feelings for us because he was trying so hard to deny it. And then Tokisada straight up is like, look, just marry me, okay? Like, whatevs. Like, he's the only one that's offered. That's not true. Kuroba offered, but I feel like, well, Kuroba offered to go have sex with us in the back room. I don't think that really counts. That was an awkward marriage proposal, Kuroba. You gotta work on that, but... Then again, it'd be embarrassing to tell him what happened. Things are going very well, I feel like should be the right answer. Hold on. Yes, exactly. There you go. Things are going very well. Because, I mean, that's also good in general to get Akaza off our back. Instead of, I'm still searching, and then he's like, well, don't you dare. You know. But things are going very well. Gets him off our back, and it's good because we're like, it's going well, because I'm enjoying my time with Tokisada. So it's like, you know, an ego boost for him, even though he's not here and he doesn't know we said it. But, you know, the magic compass knows, so. Things are going very well. A young man actually asked me for my hand in marriage. I assume this intrepid young man is Tokisada. How did you know? Kuroba returned from his lunch break in Yomi and was quite happy to share it with me. I have to admit, they have an impressive network on this island. No, just Akaza. He's just like, I know everything. I'm a robot. So you were testing me? That's pretty rude if you ask me. Yes, I was out with Tokisada yesterday on a date. Congratulations. I know you want me to find a husband as soon as possible, but please, I need more time. I want to be very careful about the person I choose. Don't worry, it won't be you. Very well, then. I like her. She's like, don't worry, it won't be you. I cannot wait till his route. God, it's going to be amazing because it's going to be that shit all the time. God, I hate you. You know, I'm just saying, you know, and then all of a sudden she's going to be like, I love you. And he's like, what? Wait, what? Or he's going to be like, it's about fucking time. Like, is he going to realize it before we do? I feel like everyone's going to realize we're in love with him before we do. Poor Agosa. I fucking love this man so much. I wonder who Lady Olympia will take as her husband. Me! I guess I know now who she won't take. As usual, I heard everyone talking about me as I walked through the plaza. I'm right here, you know. These people should really pay attention to their surroundings. I told myself to ignore their gossiping, but I couldn't help but feel curious. No way anyone can seduce her with the military and the Kotowari watching. Maybe it'll be the Iron Mask of the Kotowari. Not a chance. I like how she's dead face when she's saying that, but I like it better when she gets like kind of angry face every time people bring up a cause and she's like, no! Just funny. Again, it's never going to stop amusing me. Not a chance. I guess the other eligible candidates would be Kanan of the Orange and Nagusa of the Jade. Nagusa? I think I've heard his name before. He must be of marriageable age. And that's all of them, isn't it? Let's bet on who she'll take. They didn't mention Tokusada. Or Yosuga. Or Riku. Or anybody out. Like, I love that Kanan's always there as, like, dangling in front of you. Like, he's a candidate, but, like, not. Which is kind of good, because I'd be like, please no, he's kind of an asshole. There's going to be some bad shit. He's going to do some horrible shit I just don't trust... Look, I don't trust the trigger warnings on this game, because we've yet to see any of that. But then, and then you put that trigger warning there, like, hi, this could get, like, bad. Okay. And then you have, like, Kanan, and then we get kidnapped, and you're like, oh god! Like, I'm just waiting for it now. Every fucking time we turn a corner, ah! Like, Kanan's gonna assault me! Like, I don't know, like... Because I just don't think my love interests are going to. Tsukiyomi's basically, like, probably our grandpa, for all we know. I'm just saying. Like, there's some kind of weird mystery around him. Doma is probably our real dad. Doma and Did I say Tokusada? I meant Tsukiyomi. Did I say Tsukiyomi? I don't even know anymore. My names are all like, there's like a big jumble in my brain right now. Like, and then like, Sakio was only in the blue as an antagonist. So, like, Kanan's the only one that's constantly around. Although, Nagusa, Kanan introduced him, so now I don't trust him either, even though he's beautiful. So, anyway. For some reason, I felt a slight irritation. Nah, we should wait until we got more info. Ah, you're right. I wonder when the next paper is going to come out. That's all I have to look forward to these days. I'm sorry, but I'll make sure I won't do anything that's worthy of an article. Kanan's secretly following you and spying in the bushes. Number 102. Fukiko. I wonder if that's her. A woman was opening the door to the house where the letter was addressed. Good day. Are you Matsuba's mother? Lady Olympia? Yes, I'm her mother, but to what do I owe the pleasure? I'm sorry to surprise you. I came here to deliver a letter to you from Matsuba. My daughter? I started a delivery service and... Oh, my... Lady Olympia! She actually made you go to the trouble of coming here? I'm doing this because I wanted to. But more importantly, if you don't mind... As I handed her the letter, her whole body began to tremble. This is... really... her handwriting. Yes, it really is from her. Fukiko held the letter tightly in her hand and steadied herself against the wall. Do you know how she's been faring? She seemed very far along. I think she may be about to give birth. She doesn't know! Oh, girl! So, she's really... both of them are alive? Oh, maybe she got pregnant and that's what got her sent down there. So, because that's what we were like, I wonder if she's like Kaina, like, got sent down here from having an affair. But then it's like, But why didn't they execute her? Because she was pregnant, and they were like, we can't execute a pregnant lady. Like, okay, so there is some moral on this island instead of being like, let's murder people who fall in love. They're more like, we should murder people who fall in love. She's pregnant. Yeah, I think that's the line. And I don't think we should cross it. Good job, island. With femur bridge in the background. So, okay, at least there's some standards. Yes, they're both alive. Her body began to tremble again. I mean, I guess in that case, that's when you're lucky you're a woman who got knocked up, because then you're like, oh shit, they're not going to execute me. Okay, at least we know where the line is, right? But your boyfriend's dead. That sucks. Well, you and Kaina could, like, hook up. You're both sad and lonely. Be sad and lonely together. Maybe actually, like, form a nice bond with each other. As long as you, like, love each other. Like, it doesn't have to be, like, your soulmate love. You could just be like, look, we're both lonely and we care about each other and we'll take care of this baby. It'll be great. It'll be fine. Like, let's set her up with Kaina. And after doing such a foolish thing, too, Suba and her unborn child are safe. Foolish thing? I suppressed the desire to ask about it. All I need to do is deliver letters. No matter how curious I am, it's not my right to ask. If you have anything to write back to her, I can deliver that too. Write back? Then, might I ask you to return again tomorrow? I'd bring it to you, except I dare not visit Lord Doma's manor. I felt my brows almost furrow in frustration. I wasn't upset with her. I was irritated that everyone was so shackled by this island's class system. Then I'll come back around the same time tomorrow. You know what? We should get, like, oh, outside the Kotowari building, we're going to put a letterbox. That's what we should do. We have a letterbox in Yomi. Why don't we have a letterbox here? This island's bigger. I'm going to run around this whole, chase everybody's fucking letters down this whole fucking island. And then you got to remember, I got to deliver these 5 letters, but then I also go to the 5 places I went to yesterday to see if they have a letter back, and if then they don't, I got, like, you need a letterbox up here. Why? Listen, Akaza! I love you, but why the fuck didn't you think of this? Yosuka thought of it. Hello? Finished with my deliveries, I headed to the beach where Tokisada was waiting. He had his shoes off and was walking barefoot along the shore. I guess I didn't need to bring my bathing suit. It's not much fun swimming alone anyway. Tokisada, sorry if I kept you waiting. Where are you going to change, girl? She's just on the beach, stripping off her clothes, putting her bathing suit on. He's like, ah! Yeah, there you are. Come on now, the water's really nice. I'll just walk along the shore with you today. I didn't bring a bathing suit. I thought I was going to be able to watch you swim, sis. Maybe next time. Next time? So that means you're going to come here with me again? His question made me feel a bit bashful. The thought that he'd continue to go out on other dates, the thought that we would continue, yeah, certainly was possible. Will I really go out with Tokisada again? Let me think about it. I don't see why not. Yeah, okay. Even though, I mean, sure, is better than, I don't see why not. You know what I mean? There's just something, if people ask you, and like, there's yes, good answer. No, not a good answer. Well, I mean, depending on the situation, but what, we're gonna go out on a date again? No. Okay, yes. Woohoo, good. I don't see why not. Kind of is like, I mean, it's a good answer, but it also is like, I mean, sure. Like, sure. Like, now is more like yes. Like, yeah, yes, sure. But, like, I don't see why not. Like, it's a good answer, but there's something about it that's like, I mean, I guess if I have to, there's like this, it's a positive answer, but it has this negative undertone to it. And maybe it's just me, but it always just seems like that's the response you get when people are like, I mean, I don't see why not. I'm trying to think of why not, but I can't think of why not, so I guess I have to say yes. Where it's like, they don't want to say yes, but they have to because there's no reason to say no. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about it that you're like, it's not just like, yeah. Like, let me think about it. He's like, maybe. I'm going to think about that. It's probably a no, but I just don't want to say no. And like... Like, I feel like neither of these are great, but... And again, I know that I don't see why not is a positive answer, but there's just always... There's just something about it that's just not... That you're like, oh! Wait. Should I take it 100% positive, or is there an undertone? Like, I don't know how to read it, you know? I don't see why not. Really? Any particular day you had in mind? It is nice to see you two here. I didn't notice Lord Jigen standing behind us. He's like literally walked up to you and he's just like creeping ever so slowly, just step by step, 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 step. Creep, 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 until all of a sudden you turn around and you're like, holy fuck, you're like an inch from my face. What are you doing? I quickly bowed, but Tokisada simply stood frozen next to me. Okay, so here's the funny part. Tokisada's got the crosses in his eyes. Do you see them in Jigen's eyes? No, you fucking don't. Jigen doesn't have the crosses in his eyes, so it's confusing. At least they're not noticeable. You know what I mean? Hello. I must have come at the wrong time. I am sorry for intruding. Not at all. It's been a while, Lord Jigen. I'm very grateful for your kindness in allowing someone like me to live here. He's acting all polite and mannerly. I'm deeply honored to have been treated so well by Lord Tsuneho, leader of the Green. Now, no need to be so formal. What happened to that feistiness I saw just a moment ago? Well, it's been about 2 years since you arrived, has it not? I was worried about you given that it's been a long while since another outsider drifted here. I apologize for the trouble I caused. I understand it can be difficult to adjust to a new place. Please feel free to see me if you need any guidance. Yeah. Tokisada gave a deep bow when suddenly... What? A large wave crashed onto the shore and almost pulled us down into the sand. Tiny white bubbles floated above the sand, and as they drifted away, something appeared from beneath. Is it another letter in a bottle? Oh, it looks like something just washed ashore. The item had settled precisely at Tokisada's feet. It was a long crimson bag made of cloth. So, like, it's interesting because I think the letter in the bottle... No, the letter in the bottle happened in the common route. We found shells and things, but I don't think I think that was the common route because... I feel like it was the common route. Then again, it could have been Enrique. I don't know. I can't remember. Fuck. I feel like after we do a common route, I need to take a break before we jump into a route because it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, we're going to stop because I need like to be able to digest because like now the common route blends in with Riku's route. I don't remember when it happened, but because I was just wondering like, oh, I wonder if we're going to find something different in everybody's route. Doesn't really make a difference whether it happened in the common route or Riku's route because we remember all of them and somehow all the information about all these pieces is going to come back. It can't be. Is there a problem? Tokisada's fingers shook as he slowly unraveled the string on the top and took out a long scabbard. Was this his? Oh my god, it is! Holy shit, cool. It's my katana. From 2 years. Kid, you shouldn't play with knives. That's actually kind of cool. Like, I like the intensity on his face, even though he still has a baby face. I'm not gonna let you take my dad! Like, I feel like you're watching an anime where he's like, ah! And then he tries, but he doesn't know how to use the katana. But you're like, oh, nice try, kiddo. Like, because he's got such a baby face. And Jigen is like, oh dear, I think he might stab someone by accident. Tokisada quickly drew the blade without hesitation. If it were any of the other love interests, the intensity on the face could be sexy, but he's just too adorable. You're like, oh, that's cute. Look at you. Want to ruffle your hair. I can't with the baby face love interest. Ah, it has undergone a long journey, yet there's not a single scale of rust on it. The blade wasn't dirty at all. That's also weird. Magic. The wet, silvery blade glistened in the sunlight, seemingly ready to cut through anything. Also the fact that, like, it's been tossed around in the ocean for 2 years. So even if it got stuck somewhere and it was just floating in the underbrush or whatever, the fabric that it was wrapped in, that cloth, didn't get, there's no holes, no wear, no nothing. I'm just gonna tell you something. Take a sock and stick it in a bucket for 2 fucking years and tell me that nothing happens to it. Because, like, after a couple days, that water's going to be nasty. Now, I know the ocean water's moving constantly, but I'm just saying it's not nothing. There's not a single bit of wear or tear, no little fish nibbles, nothing. That's some fucking shit. I mean, like, obviously no rust, nothing on the blade, but, like, even the bag is perfect that it was wrapped in. The ocean. It crossed the ocean. Is this real? Did you have it on you when you fell in the ocean? Tokasada fell silent for a moment, and the hand that held his blade shook. Well, that's what I mean, I figured he fell into the ocean with it, and he got lost, and he got lost. You know what I mean? Not, I ended up in the ocean, I left my sword at home, and then somebody threw my sword into... You know what I mean? Interesting. And the embroidery in the hilt? There's no mistaking it. But when I was at Shimabara... Whoa! Isn't Shimabara like the red light district? Isn't that what we learned when we played Hakuoki? I lost it. I lost it back then. Tokasada? I'd never seen him so scared before. Yet he held the dripping katana firmly with both hands. I mean, this is freaky. Lord Jigen, may I keep this? Please, I'm not lying. This is indeed mine. Very well. It is yours to keep. With Lord Jigen's approval, Tokasada seemed to totter again, as if in a daze. I thank you truly for your generosity. It must have followed its master from Shimabara. There was something about the way he turned. It was like, Anyway, life shows us many wonders, no? Indeed. The waves bring forth what one seeks. He wanted a katana? That explains the katana and the flower. He's got his katana, and we know that Tsukuyomi went to the island to collect flowers, so now we're going to get a flower. But then again, we also have a performance. We need one, so. That blade of yours came here for a reason. Do take good care of it. I will inform the Kotowari about it. Now, if you'll excuse me. Thank you for your kindness! As Lord Jigen left, Tokasada stayed knelt with his head so low that it was touching the sand. I'd never seen such a thing before. To be honest, I felt a little scared and uneasy. Is it because they're both outsiders? Could this be a custom of those from Japan? It's actually kind of funny because I was like, she's like, this is weird, this bowing thing. And I'm like, yeah, okay. She's never seen it before because it's not like, it's because certain things that are like Japanese kind of culture exist on this island based on the books, whatever. But I guess the bowing ritual isn't. So this is like normal for so many games we've read where even like it's taking place in England and everybody's still bowing at each other. And you're like, well, I mean, okay, that doesn't happen like in England. You know what I mean? You're just so used to it in games that when with her being like, what is this? You're like, girl, oh, right. It's become so normal in games that when somebody finds it not normal, I'm like, wait, what? But it's normal. After Lord Jigen disappeared from sight, Tokasada slowly stood up again. Also, if he's from, like, before Tokyo, when Tokyo was Edo, you know what I mean? Like, is he's from, like, Hakuoki days? Like, because does Shimabara still exist? Wasn't that the red light district? Isn't that where everybody would go and, like, hang out with the geishas and freaking every, like, Hakuoki version in games like that in that era that we'd play, right? Am I crazy? Like, I can't remember now. But anyway. Sis, I'm sorry about all that. We even came here to the beach to have fun, too. There's no need to apologize. So that katana, it's really yours? Tokasada nodded in response. It's been 2 years since you arrived, right? How strange that it would only wash ashore now. Yeah, I'm still surprised to see it here. This is interesting. Maybe I still need to repent for my crimes. Did you say something? I just said I need to take good care of it. Repent for your crime. Did they toss him in the... Who did you kill? Hey, Skay, is that you? Of course. Should we have a look around to see if anything else washed ashore? Would it be so funny? And then they're like, he's actually like a freaking historical figure. That like... They tied that in. You'd be like, wait, whoa. That'd be kind of interesting. You're like, no, I'm fine. I don't think anything else drifted ashore anyway. Tokusada gazed down at his katana again, then suddenly looked up as if remembering something. He looked out toward Tenyo Island. That's right. Can I ask you something, sis? I heard a particular legend about Tenyo Island before. What is it? And then on the night of a full moon, a white flower stood at the front door of the men of Tengu Island. I heard whoever receives one can leave the island on a ferry. Okay, cool. We're talking about the lunar ferry now. And the ferry takes the person to Tenyo Island. I see. And then the ferry returns to Tengu Island just as the moon's about to fade. And the men return from Tenyu Island with no memory of what happened. Some say their souls are consumed by the women of the white. Huh? Now I felt as flustered as he did a moment ago. You're like, no, so no, but like... I mean, they consume something, but it's not exactly like that. Anyway. When touched by a man you do not trust. Oh, that's where she... I forgot about that. That's where she's going, but like the men come back, so... Tsukuyomi never did say what would happen. So, could that be possible? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to pick on you or anything, sis. But didn't that old man say something about it yesterday? I remember it clearly. I remember it too. I've been meaning to ask Tsukuyomi about it. Why don't you come with me? Down to Yomi, down to Tsukuyomi. It just occurred to me, this is Yomi, and then this is Tsukuyomi. Okay. I don't... isn't Yomi night? Well, Suki is moon. But... isn't... Yomu is drink, right? No, Nomu is drink. Is Yomu reed and Yomi is night? One is night and one is reed, and I get them mixed up. But, like... his name is very close to, like... moon and night. And, like... it's always dark down here, which would make sense why they named it Yomi, right? But, like... if I'm remembering... like, look, it's been a long time. But, like... I just... like, wait, Tsukuyomi and Yomi... wait, I don't know why I didn't just... okay, look. Look, a lot of things kind of just roll past me right now. We're playing, like, the whole, like, why'd the sun disappear? Oh, could it have been an eclipse? Duh. Like, I don't know. If that's not the answer, I'm gonna be like, game. You had one job. Anyway. That is mostly true, though the rest is mere fabrication. Really? No males are born on Tenyo Island. Men are prohibited from living there. Huh? It is said that the virgin goddess Amaterasu despises males. However, the precious white lineage would perish unless they are brought in to wed. She uses them even though she hates them? That sounds pretty selfish. Smacks him. You know what? The shit that men have done in history. You shut up. It's merely lore, likely to have been changed and twisted over time. As for the consuming of souls, perhaps another myth. Does this young one here appear to you as the type to do so? The doll he's carrying, I really need to know about it. God, Tsukuyomi is just so amazing. Oh! We're like, Tsukuyomi. Tsukuyomi so fucking knows what we did to Doma, and he's just like fucking with us a little. I took a tiny step back. And then again, it could be correct in the sense that the goddess's wrath will smite those who attempt harm on the women of that island. Despite Tsukuyomi's calm voice, my heart was gripped by pain. Tsukuyomi knew. He knew that I almost killed Doma. Oh, that's true, he does know. I forgot. It's like, for a second I was like, it's like he knows and he's doing up. No, he does know, right? I forgot. He found us and we were like, we did this. He's like, Tsukiyomi's a little shady. Like, in a wonderful way, but, like, he's just like, tee like. And the goddess's wrath. Pretty scary if you ask me. The fairy no longer exists. All the women of the white have disappeared, leaving behind this young one. Mother, everyone I know is gone. The Red Calamity, it had taken so many precious things away from me. The island I once called my home, my friends, and my mother. Just remembering what happened brought a storm of anger and sorrow upon me. But you really did well, living through all that alone. The memory of his tears melted away those horrible feelings. Even if I couldn't forget what happened, I decided to find happiness, no matter what. I vowed to never look down again. I'd only look forward. I could see things clearly now. I can see clearly now. Thank you, Tokisada. What about them losing their memory? And the men who arrive on the island are greeted with medicinal liquor that heightens their emotions. And then once they become sober, they lose their memories. Ah, interesting. We get them drunk. Wait a minute. Are you saying we roofie them? That seems so wrong now. This is getting a little more inappropriate, game. Tokisada frowned. He's like, that sounds like roofies. Yeah. It is best to forget someone you will never see again, is it not? About that, Tsukiyomi. An elderly gentleman from the fuchsia spoke from the fuchsia. Wow. I was thinking fuso, and then it said fuchsia, and like it became fuchsia. Wow. From the fuchsia. I know how to say fuchsia, Jesus Christ. An elderly gentleman from the fuchsia spoke to me at the plaza yesterday. He seemed to remember crossing over to the island. That's right. I heard him say it too. A man who loved and was loved. What do you mean? Rarely, very rarely, fragments of the memory may be retained. If soulmates meet and fall deeply in love in one night. How beautiful is that, though? But he's so old! Do you deride his age? Although you may be an outsider, you too shall age one day. Only Tsukiyomi doesn't age. That's not it. I had no intention of ridiculing him. It's just that I'm surprised that what he said could be true. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. Tokusadan looked down and pondered deeply for a moment. Then, I understand now. So then, just getting close to Sis won't suddenly erase my memory. I was worried about that since I was planning to marry her. I didn't say yes yet. My dear child, have you come to the decision to live your life with him by your side? Huh? Well, Tokusada had already regained his composure as I stood flustered at Tsukiyomi's question. She's taken some time to learn more about me. In fact, we went on another date today. I like the fact that he's not like, answer him. He's like, nah, she's taking her time. It's cool. Like, proud of you, Tokusada. You're not like, oh, I'm hurting my man pride by saying no. You're like, nah, she's got to get to know me, but it's cool. Points. He's not my favorite. He's the lolly boy. We don't like the lolly boys, but like, he pats him on the head. You're a good kid. Tokusada, I recall your desire to learn how to escape this island. I mean, in all technicality, all the other ones are kids too to me, because they're like 20. They're all babies, but they don't look like it. You know what I mean? You could be, if you told me Akaza was 20, okay. If you told me he was 35, okay. Like, because whether they're 20 or like up to almost 40, the game generally draws them all the same. It's really only when they're like, oh, are they like 40 that they're drawn like old people. Like Fuso is probably like 40 and they're like, he's like dead. Like 38, you're 40, dead. Like, thanks, I guess. Like, Tsukiyomi is like, doesn't age, but like, I'm just saying. It's like they're all the same until then they like Jigen and Doma, which are probably like 40s. They could be 50, they could be 60. They draw them all the same. And then all of a sudden it's like 80. There's like 3 blocks. Well, there's 4. There's the babies and then the lolly boys who basically look like they're 12. So like you look like you're 12. You're like 20, 30. You could be any kind of in the young adult kind of rate. And then there's like older age of middle-aged. And then there's fucking dead. Like, there's just not a lot of, So anyway. I recall your desire to learn how to escape this island. Huh? Tokisada's calm left him in an instant. He looked back and forth between me and Tsukiyomi, desperately searching for the right words. Oh, Tsukiyomi's just fucking with everybody, isn't he? The look on his face. Come on, you can't just tell me that face is not just a face that wants to fuck with people. I love him. I love him to death. But he literally has a face that, like, I like fucking with people. Like, the shit he says sometimes, you're like, you shady bastard, I love you. Like, he's shady in, like, such an adorable way. You're like, sometimes you say shady things, but God, do I not fucking love you. I just thought that on a whim, so... I would rather not see my beloved child of the white wed to someone on a whim. Tsukiyomi! A man so seized by whims may one day let go of his wife. I'd never do that! All those born into this world have roles to fulfill. Mine is to protect the women of Tenyo Island. I ask you, what is your role? Tsukiyomi gave a quiet and gentle smile. I just love him. Do you just think he's, like, slightly crazy? Is it just me? It's just how I read him, probably. But, like, or just what I see. But I just feel like he's, like, adorable and slightly crazy. And I feel like people underestimate him, but he will stab you if given the... Like, do not underestimate him. He will stab you. To protect me. But, like, still, he'll stab you. Outsider Amakusa Shiro Tokisada. That katana of yours that made its way here. Do not misuse it. Lest the shackles upon you never disappear. Huh? What? He knows some shit. Tsukiyomi, what do you know? Tokisada's hand crept up to his collar in fear. Tsukiyomi, stop it already! You don't have to say it like that! He finally found his katana on the shore today, and Lord Jigen gave him permission to have it. I must be very strict with the men who attempt to win your affections, my dear child. I'm not your child anymore. Now then, we should be going. I like how she stands up to him and he's just like, go girl. By all means, do enjoy your date. Stop screaming. What are you shrieking for? You put yourself in your cage. You either take nappies or play, but don't shriek. There's no shriekies. I'm sorry, Tokisada. No, it's my fault. It was too hasty of me to ask for your hand in marriage just a day after asking you how I could leave. But you said that Lord Tsuneho of the Green encouraged you to see me. I almost forgot. Have you seen the garden here before, sis? The garden? No. Why don't we go? It'll really surprise you. Like, avoiding the question. You're like, didn't you say Tsuneho told you to come here? Yeah, anyway, garden. Oh, it's prettier in the kind of daylight. Is it ever daylight down here? Do they have lights? I mean, how is it daylight? There's no light. There's no sun. But it's bright. When we came here with Riku, it was dark, like it was night, because it's always night down here, but yet... I'm not complaining it's beautiful, but I'm just questioning it now. A cherry tree in bloom? But it's out of season! Amazing, isn't it? One of the reasons why I keep coming to Shikinjo is because of this cherry tree. I mean, there is no season down here. It's not a fake. It's really real. I held out my hand under a petal that was fluttering to the ground. I heard it's always in bloom, even though the fullness changes, pretty much stays the same all year long. Always in bloom? So then, it's just like the cluster amaryllises. Yosuga said it's because of Yomi. You see, I suppose that's enough of a reason. Kuroba said something similar before, too. A tree being in bloom throughout the year must be so unusual down here. Even so, the sight of the cherry tree with its sprawling branches and flowers was magnificent. Perhaps even ominous. And that was the first time I've had a proper chat with Tsukiyomi. He's a bit scary, isn't he? I never expected him to say anything like that either. He's usually much kinder than that. I bet he's only kind to you, sis. He was kind to all the women on Tenyo Island. He looked after us for so long. The outsider of Naraku, Tsukiyomi. Jigano the red, Doma the yellow, Tsukuyomi, and of course Lord Hiroko. All the outsiders are like gods. So maybe I'll be like a god too someday. I'd prefer you as you are already. Huh? Aside from Tsukuyomi, I can't really approach them casually. As for Lord Hiroko, I'm not even sure he really resides in Kokurinomiya. Wow. Kokurinomiya. Look, that word hasn't been around for a while, so. If you ever become like the others, there's no way I could share ice cream or have fun at the beach with you. Could you imagine hanging out at the beach with your toes in the sand eating ice cream with Doma? Because that's just weird, but it's the most amazing thing I've ever pictured in my head. He just, like, this pretty scowly face, and you're just like, you're enjoying this. I am not. Like, him just barely smirking. Like, oh my god. It's kind of like trying to imagine Riku and having fun with anything, or like Akaza because they're robots, but it's like even better than that because just the thought of Doma like skipping along the beach or something is just, and like fucking building a sandcastle or some shit, just enjoying ice cream is just, it doesn't compute. It's like a math problem. Like, you know, if a train leaves the station going 177 miles an hour, eastbound against the wind, and aliens exist, what color are purple pancakes? Like, I mean, that purple, obviously, but like, you're like, what color pancakes does my sister's dog's boyfriend's uncle's brother's pumpkin like? Like, that's not even a good one. Cause like, you're like, whatever. It's like, what does yellow taste like? It's just one of those things that you're like, it doesn't, there's not, I can picture it, but it also doesn't compute. And it's probably, I'm just going to be, if I giggle now for the rest of the next 15 minutes, it's because I'm picturing Doma skipping in the beach. I can't stop. It's just on a loop and it's so weird. I love it. Oh god. Anyway. Oh god. You're right. So, don't let what Tsukuyomi said bother you. I'm sorry. I'm still picturing that. You know, like when you think of something and it's funny and you try not to laugh? I'm like, okay, collect yourself. I can't. I want to cry right now. Oh my god. He grinned, touching the cherry tree's trunk, and the trying to avoid laughing makes you want to laugh more. God. Sis, you don't know me. What do you mean? I didn't go to ask for your hand in marriage because I was told to. I did it because it was you, sis. A small petal drifted into Tokasada's hair. I was trying to express that last time, but I guess it didn't come out that way. I couldn't say a word. I could hardly believe what I was hearing. Hey, at least I didn't keep this a secret. To know that someone actually wanted me. I want to be with you because of what you said, wanting to bring about change. I see. So, I mean, it is weird because he's like, you want to bring change, and I like that, so yeah, we should get married. And you're like, it's not exactly the best reason to want to marry me, but, you know. Sis, you're the one keeping me on this island. Really? What I just said is really important, so please don't forget it. Sure. To be honest, I wasn't certain why I was so oddly interested in Tokasada. Because he's got some mysteries, he's hiding some shit. All I knew was that he was very earnest and straightforward. Minus all the secrets. I can't seem to leave him alone. Like, it's gonna be like Riku's gonna have the secret number. It's not gonna be like, oh, how dare you? It's gonna be like, ooh! But we know he's got one. He's hiding something. You know what I mean? He's gonna be like, I was in the Shinsengumi and I murdered people! We're gonna be like, cool, whatever. Like, listen. We dated everybody in the Shinsengumi, basically. They all did some shit. Sanin did nothing wrong. Shut up. We're fine. After that, I'm just saying. Listen. Unless your memoirs of the... what was the hell in the name of the frickin' Dogenzaka Labs Shinsengumi game? Unless you're fucking Heisuke in that game. Fine. But he can go fuck himself. Jesus. That was... No. But, you know. But if you're like Hakuoki virgin... Fine. Whatever. At least all our friends aren't dead. It was about noon as we wandered the streets after leaving the busy Shikinjo. That's... Tokasada, do you mind if I talk to her for just a moment? I delivered a letter for her earlier today. Of course. Matsuba! Oh, good day, Lady Olympia. She greeted me with a bow and a smile as I ran over to her. See, people still bow. So this is where, like, but I guess Tokasada, like, prostrating himself on the ground completely and, like, literally burying his face in the sand like an ostrich was a little odd, but... I delivered your letter and was asked to go back again tomorrow to pick up her reply. So quickly. And that's what your mother said. Was she doing well? Yes, she was worried about you and your child. Matsuba looked down and away from me. Her shoulders were shaking, and it looked like she was about to cry. I've been a horrible child to my mother. Nothing I did ever went well. Tokasada glanced at me. If you don't mind, can I ask you more about yourself? It'll stay secret with me. Thank you very much for your kind words, but what I've done is already known by many. I'll be 26 years old this year. I married a man from the Ko at 18, but he divorced me after 5 years of not bearing a child, and I was labeled as sterile. Sterile, a state in which one is physically unable to produce children. Oh, you know what? Guess who was sterile? Probably him if she's pregnant. Fuck you, why is it always the woman's fault? Sexist goddamn society. A woman on this island who can't bear children is not seen as a woman at all. That's kind of fucking bullshit. That is fucking bullshit. Your ability to have children does not determine if you were a woman. And if you choose not to have children, like me, does not make you any less of a woman. Fuck this sexist bullshit. Okay, look, we already know that this island is some sexist, racist bullshit, okay? You don't have to shove it in my face, game, but you keep doing it. I can't have a child, so I'm not a woman. But you know what makes me angry about that is because it's not like... Because it's so ingrained even in women now, where it's like, oh, you can't have kids, and it's like, I'm less of a woman. No, you're not. Who the fuck told you that shit? Stop. We should be at a point in society now that women shouldn't feel that way, and yet they still do. And there's just too many people in relationships where you're trying to have a baby, you can't have a baby, and it's the woman's fault. And then she goes and marries someone else and gets pregnant. And whose fault? Oh, but you're not less of a man, are you? I mean, honestly, there are some men who would think you're less of a man. You got whatever. Your tubes tied. You got a vasectomy. You're less of a man. No, he's more of a man, because that's more of the man that I want to date. The one who can't accidentally get me pregnant, because fuck kids. They suck. So I'm just saying. But it's always the woman's fault, and it's like, wow. That's bullshit. Bullshit! Because it was probably him, because she's pregnant, so clearly it wasn't her fault. And then that just makes you wonder about the poor women in the blue who, like, their babies don't survive because they're so inbred. Like, that they barely have children that survive or they can't carry to term. Are they really telling them that they're less of a woman? Because, like, Jesus Christ, imagine that shit. I've had several children die on me, and now you're telling me I'm not a real woman. Oh my god. You know what? This is why the women of the white killed themselves. Nobody wants to live on this fucking island. Holy shit. That's horrible. Yeah, see, Tokasada's like, the fuck is this place? That's why Tokasada wants off. Afterward, I went to work as a maid in a manor in the Blue District. Chiguya's face crossed my mind. And yet I fell in love with the young lord of the manor. Her eyes expressed an emotion different from sadness. In them I could sense a sort of unwavering heat. And again, I'm gonna guarantee you he's just fine and dandy. Probably, because he's a young lord of the blue and we can't kill the blue boys. You know. I was 24 and the lord was 20. Men on this island must decide who they'll marry when they reach 20. Naturally, he was to marry another young woman of the blue. Yeah. The blue hold their power of Batsu very dear. They were destined to bear a beautiful child with beautiful blue color traits. You know what's actually kind of interesting about this? This is very, very much like a reflection of Riku's life It's kind of interesting that they chose this to be like, she's like, oh, I got pregnant with somebody from the blue and they're going to have a beautiful blue child. And then like her child is going to come out and be beautifully, gloriously blue like Riku. And it's just like a weird, like little mirror situation. It's kind of interesting that they did that. Look, either they just aren't creative with their stories or they purposely put it in there to kind of mirror that story on purpose. I'm going to go with they did it on purpose. Okay. Because it seems very purposeful. Because she could have been fallen in love with any member of any upper class, you know, but it's blue. And then, like, you know, she's seen as this lower trash tier that's just multicolored and they're freaks and, like, whatever. And, like, she's going to bear this beautiful, glorious blue child watch. Just like Riku, it's going to be the same situation. I was merely a maid, so he could have simply laughed away my love for him. But instead he said he wanted to take me as his wife. She hesitated for a moment before continuing, which is not allowed. It was all so sudden. After we were arrested, he was sentenced to death within the month. Oh, they actually killed him. Tokasana looked away with a quiet sound that seemed like a groan. I'm surprised. I'm surprised they killed him. But, again, this is exactly what they did to Riku's family. Very much. As for me, I'm the real sinner here, yet the child I bear protected me from the death penalty. They said they can't kill a pregnant woman. Again, at least they have some line. And so, I survived. I wanted to die in this place, but I can't die now for the sake of my child. My only desire is to do what I can to bring happiness to them. Listen carefully and promise me. Promise that you'll find your true love and live as happily as your mother has. Her voice is wrong there, but whatever. Was this what it meant to be a mother? I still couldn't know. But at the very least, I did know that I wanted to help her as much as I could. I've given nothing but trouble and sorrow to my mother. I suppose it'd be selfish of me to wish for happiness at all. No, I bet your mother is happy. Because your mother is probably thinking it was horrible. Your husband divorced you because you couldn't bear children and you were seen as less of a woman, but you actually got pregnant, so fuck him, it's on him. Because your mom has your back. And your mom's probably like, this goddamn archaic sexist bullshit fucking system. What the hell? Telling my daughter she's less of a woman because she can't have babies. Like, fuck that shit. I'll punch some motherfucker who says that shit. But she can't because then she'll go to jail and she's like, no, I gotta take care of my kid. And then her kid gets pregnant and she's like, in your face! It was your fault, punk! You know that's what she's thinking inside, because if you were a mom, that's exactly what you would be thinking. Goddamn son of a bitch divorced my daughter, said she couldn't bear children, she wasn't a real woman. Look who's not a real man! How does that feel? Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it? It's douchey of me to say that, but you know what? In your face. Because that's what you deserve, just to feel as shitty as you made my poor daughter feel. I'm just saying. So, you know. Yes, your mom hurts because you're down here, but your mom is happy because, you know, she's probably sad that you lost somebody that you loved. And your life has been like a fucking mess. Because that's what moms do, okay? But when I heard of your delivery service, I simply had to write my letter. I'm glad I was able to help in some way. Lady Olympia, don't worry, I'll deliver all the letters you write. Thank you very much. Tears began to flow from her eyes. Once my child's born, I'd like to visit the surface, even just once. Yeah, that'll never happen. Do you know about the monument in front of the hospital, honoring those who have been executed? The same thing that Kaina wants. I nodded in response. I want to show him our child, and even if it's only once, I want my child to see the brightness of the sun. I mean, that's what's sad. This child is being punished for what she did. Oh, I mean, she's being punished for falling in love, which is stupid, but... sad. We then walked silently up to Yomotsu Hirasaka, Torquemada, and out into the light. I know we're almost at time, but we'll go a little bit longer, because the sun shone brilliantly in the sky. Tokisada, there's one more thing I want to do now. Could it be bringing that woman to the surface? Not just Matsuba, but Kaina too. Why Kaina? Oh, that's right, Tokisada. You wouldn't know what Kaina wrote in his letters. No, not at all. It's the same wish. He wants to lay flowers at the hospital monument for his lost love. His younger brother Kanan said he'll see what he can do, but Akaza said it'll be difficult. To be honest, I want to call for an end to the death penalty for the Hazushi right now. But Riku said something to me. That in order to preserve his color class, he needs to choose a bride from families with a high chance of bearing children of the blue. And poor Riku, he's going to go about his duty and we didn't free him from anything. Or at least in his route, we freed you. You were free to love and be who you wanted to be. And now you have to live a lie. This is why the man harem is a good thing. The harem ending would be we get all the men and they can all live their happy lives and they don't have to live lies while we're in somebody else's route. Because right now Riku is living a lie and he's going to have to live a lie because we're going to fall in love with Tokusada. And I'm sure everybody else is living some kind of a lie and we're going to find out that Tokusada was living some kind of a lie and we free him. And you know what I'm saying? So the man harem route is the best route because everybody gets to be happy. Okay? He said that? I'm the last of the white bloodlines, so I understand how he feels. But I'm not really sure what the right thing to do is. Even so, I don't think it's wrong for someone to lay flowers for their lost love or to see the sun. Tokusada suddenly frowned and looked away from me. A large seagull flew above us. I knew you were really brave, but now I think it's more foolhardy. Really? Trying to change things will also bring about its fair share of resistance. Hypothetically speaking, you could be arrested and punished, you know? Torture and executions, it would all just be pure suffering, wouldn't it? I love how courageous you are, sis, but I'd rather not see ever experience that. This sounds like somebody who is living, you know what I'm saying? Unless you feel you're special. Do you think you won't be punished for anything because you're Olympia of the White? I froze upon hearing Tokusada's words, maybe. I never thought about that before. It's true that I'm the last white, which is why I'm allowed to live in Doma's manor. I remember now, Doma told me before that he's the reason I'm able to do what I want. I never thought it was because I was anyone important. I've always seen myself as any other girl. I do know that everyone treats me as someone special, but... I'm sorry. No, Tokusada, you don't have to apologize. I'm the one who's sorry. Sis, I can't seem to keep myself out of everyone's business. I was raised so freely back on Tenyo Island, which is probably why I'm selfish. And she wants everyone to have the same freedom that she had, you know what I mean? Akaza told me it's difficult for those in Yomi to be granted permission to come to the surface. He also mentioned it wouldn't be fair to give special treatment to certain people over others. But personally, this is what I think. What happens once can happen again. And when it happens again, it can bring about some real change. I don't think things can be achieved so easily, but we need to start somewhere. Tokusada, forget what I just said. I mean, I don't want to drag you into whatever mess I might create. So you don't need to worry about me. Stop it. Of course I'm worried about you. I'm your friend, you know? And I did ask you to marry me. And like I said before, I want to bring change to the island too. I really do want to. So please let me stay by your side, sis. The voice was so strong that the sound of the waves seemed to be only a murmur. And even stronger were his eyes. The depths of those mysterious eyes flickered like passionate flames. Oh, thank you very much. Well, the sun's about to set, so maybe we can talk again tomorrow. Sure. And then let me find a carriage. A strange feeling came over me watching him smile and turn around. Tokusada? I'll be dancing on stage again tonight. I looked at the stage out on the ocean. If you have some time, please come by. What did I just say? Was that something worth stopping him right now? Are you kidding me? Of course I'll go. There's nothing more important than you. I felt a burst of heat the moment I saw his smile. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If someone was like, what? Of course I'll be there. There's nothing more important than you. Huh? I might have fallen over if someone ever said that to me. You're like, what? Because I bring up the sun? No, because I love you. What? We're not going to see this because we overtime, because we went a little, because, you know, whatever. But anyway. Wow, this is a lot of phasing to go to the... Here we go. Are we going to go to our dance and then see him, or we're going to recall what happened? I don't know. But anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.